And we are live.
They have like a intermission for a while, you know. You can do it that way. And then at the 2 minute mark, I'll play our intermission. Okay.
You're sounding scattered.
I said I'm gonna do this for about 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna play our intermission. Our commercial.
Okay. You're sounding a little distant. But yes, okay, no problem.
Calling your phone, why you not hitting me back? Please just pick up, don't wanna go tit for tat. Arguing on versus this then this that. Killing my vibe, now I'm writing this rap. This is not another love song, girl, you got me at me sprung.
Let's see. Now I gotta get us on here. All right, what's going on, Ronnie? What's going on?
What's going on? I'm sitting, I don't care what anyone says. I get a chance to listen to many hours on the different platforms, and our opening song is it's fire. I don't care what
Right?
anyone says. I'm digging it. I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, I'm waiting for the rest of the songs. I don't care what anyone says. That song is all right, man. Anyhow, good
Right.
good evening, everyone. Good evening.
What's up out there, YouTube and Facebook? Listen, if you are joining us for the first time, this is the Ronnie and Yasheka's dating discussions, and today we are talking about the 5 stages of dating. And I am Yasheka Foster, affectionately known as the artist of dating. And if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. And yeah, turn on your notifications so when we go ahead and go live, you'll know that we are going live. And also, if you are joining this live, be sure to allow StreamYard access to you so that if you want to leave a comment or you want something you want to say for this video, then we'll be able to know who it's from. And my handsome co-host, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ronnie Walker, master coach of exceptional dating, relationships, and sex, and we achieve all of those through the world of self-development on yourself first, starting with you. Welcome, Yasheka, and how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. I tell you, before we get into it, I want to tell you what I've been doing today. So I had been looking for a place in my house to put like backdrops, and because I ordered all this equipment some years ago, right? So I had all these backdrops and stuff, in my storage and everything. And so my son left for college a couple of months ago. Okay. And I've decided that I'm going to turn his room into a whole studio. Okay. So I've already informed him, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it into a guest room, but I'm also going to have a corner where I record videos and have a nice backdrop, so that when I do pictures, like at home studio pictures or whatever, because sometimes you just want a good look, you want a new look or whatever. When I do that, I'll already have an area set up so it'll look like I'm, doing some Instagram stuff, right? And listen, our friend Jay has joined us. What's going on,
Good
Jay? Thank
evening,
you
Jay. Good
for coming
evening.
in and coming in. So, Ronnie, today we are talking about the 5 stages of dating. And this one is something that I had to do some research on myself, because there were so many people who have came up with their ways of dating, or their 5 stages of dating, right? And so I was hearing, like, I was seeing different things, from different people, whatever. And so I said, you know what, Yasheka, what are my 5 stages of dating, where I keep aligned with what the experts say are with
Uh-oh.
the acronym called A.R.E.A., right? A.R.E.A., A.R.E.A.S. Jay, go ahead and clear share it for us. And I came up with the acronym called A.R.E.A.S. Am I doing static stuff again?
Yeah, it happened for a quick second. Yes, so yes, you're good.
You know what? I upgraded my internet, and I'm not sure what's going on, but all I know is that I upgraded it, and it should not do this. So we're just gonna
It's
keep
okay.
rolling along. But
We're gonna,
but
yeah, we're gonna do let
I
it do what it
did
do.
an yeah, absolutely. And I did an acronym called AREA, A.R.E.A.S. And the first one is appeal, right? And we're going to get into the different definitions of them and things like that. And then when we stick with the acronym AREAS, the second one is reality. The third one is exclusivity, right? The fourth one being attachment. And then the last one being steadfast or steady. And so, Ronnie,
Right.
let's talk about those today.
Well, listen, even before I get there, because I really wanted to, I was really excited for this particular segment here, because, as I've said before, I listen to a lot, and view many hours, many hours, and just trying to see what's out there. And I'm going to stand down on this in that, look, I think so much of what's out there is more entertainment than there is for more enlightenment, or just giving you some pointers. And I think far too often men and women are talking at each other. And the truth is that when we get into this space where we say, okay, look, Ronnie, there is no wrong way of dating, no right way of dating, and we're all unique, and that's fine. But what I also see is that sometimes our uniqueness gets in the way of what could help us get where we need to go in the space of dating. And I really, more than anything, with this platform, again, I do everything intentionally. I purposely, that even though it's 90 something degrees, I still put a jacket on and it's all black. I'm black. If I wear a hat, it's intentional. If I'm talking to men about dating, it's all intentional. I talk to them about being intentional. I am very intentional when connecting with and partner with Yasheka on this. So you've noticed on my platform, I talk a lot about Yasheka. Why? Because I truly know, I don't believe, I know she's all about empowering. She's all about giving a value and a direction in this dating space, as opposed to just entertaining you and giving you a pretty face and a smile. So I was really interested in going forward with this, because this, as I listen to this, I know not just women, but I truly believe, as I speak to the men, and I've spoken to them quite in depth in the past 2 weeks, of saying, Ronnie, what do these women want? Because I get it. Sometimes we're confused. They're women all over the place, So I says, okay, what you need to do is stop asking and tune in to what this woman has to say. Because I truly believe that if I'm not the one you want to listen to, then Yasheka is. And I will, again, I stand on that 10 toes down. So you have 5 points that I think is very, very important. And listen, gentlemen, so I'm spoken strictly to the gentlemen. Tune in, get your pen and paper ready. I know from this, so you don't have to hear it from me. You can hear it from a bona fide woman who's had more than experience, personally and professionally, to give you the areas in which you need in dating. So without further ado, I'm sorry, Yasheka, I just had to get that off my chest. Let's go to point one. What is the first point in dating? Oh, can you hear me? Uh-oh, I don't think she heard it. Can you hear me, Yasheka? Uh-oh. Let's see. Let's try this. You know, can you hear me? Uh-oh. Okay, we're going to the ears. Can you hear me? How about now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me? I'm having some technical difficulties over
Okay,
here,
that's
and I
okay.
have to be able to listen to you on my phone and then watch you on the screen so that my phone won't pick up on the screen and then it'll be talking back
Okay,
and forth.
okay.
So I'm going back and forth between turn them up and turn them down and unmute myself and mute myself. Listen, I tell you what,
Again,
Verizon or whoever my internet people are, they're gonna get a phone call again tomorrow because this is ridiculous. Okay,
it's
this is just
okay.
ridiculous. But we gonna go right on with it, right?
The number one, I asked for the number one. Where are we going?
Yeah.
What is it they need to know?
So in terms of number one of the stages of dating, it's for me the first one in my area's acronym is appeal, right? And so some people may look at this as being that attraction stage, that stage where you see someone and there's something about them that draws you to them or them to you, right? And so sometimes people will often try to pretend that it's not a sex appeal or it's not a sexual attraction, right? They'll try to make it say, well, you know what? You know, she was smelling good, or he walked in the room and he was walking a certain kind of way, or he was nice. You know what? Bull crap. The first thing that drives a person to be attracted to one another is some type of sex appeal or some type of sexual attraction. That's the very first thing. And so when a person meets this stage, when they go into this stage, it's like the freshman stage or that new puppy love stage, right? Everything is just so warm and fuzzy and and oh my god, he likes me or she like me. This is where you're getting to know one another. You're on the phone more than usual, you're texting more than usual. You're doing things that's going to eventually slow down, but this is that hook, that when they first throw the rod out there and see if they can reel it back in, that's that part of it. So this is the appeal stage. This is like, I won't even necessarily call it the honeymoon phase. I will call it the pre-honeymoon phase, right? So that's what that is for my first one, is being the appeal.
Okay. And see, this is key because you spoke about something. I remember I listened to this earlier. And again, and this is far too many want the entertainment as opposed to the empowerment. Ladies, listen to me. Men have been telling you this exactly what Yashik has said for years. And you keep trying to change men into that not being the first thing. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Yelling, criticize my tone, whatever you want to call it. As a man, you can speak to a man. Listen, I've been speaking to men here in this country, Ireland, Germany, uh, Tanzania, Ghana. Listen, I've been speaking to the men. And I'm like, what's the first thing? And now she said it appeal. And they said sex appeal. Visual. What is it that they're not getting? I says, I don't know. But you know what? No matter where I go, men say it over and over and over. So without even, again, now she created this on her own. This is not something that she created in collaboration with me. This is her. And the first thing she said is the first thing men look for. Period. End of story. Like it, don't like it, accept it, don't accept it. That's okay. But I'm telling you, she's on it. Okay, Yashika, what is number two?
Okay, so my number two would be the reality. And so this is that stage where you have said, okay, I think we are dating. Like, I think this is it. Like, I think I found me one, right? And so at this stage, this is where you start to say, you know what, we're doing this. So let's go out. You start planning more dates together. You start doing things together. You're not at the third stage yet. You're still a little bit better than you were at the first stage. So
Right.
so this will be like your sophomore stage. You know what I'm saying? You're not really a baby no more. You're not really a freshman anymore, but you're not really a junior or a senior neither. You know what I mean? You're at the sophomore stage. So this is the reality stage, the stage that tells you that it's a possibility that this relationship is going to go to the next level, right? So also at this stage, you start to decide if this person is what you think they are, and you start to say, okay, am I going to be okay with the way he chew his food? Okay, like things like that. You start to say, you know what? Am I okay with him being eye with me when I put on my heels, or him, on the other hand, looking at her and saying, am I okay with her wearing weaves and lipstick or whatever it is that we think about, right? So this is that stage. This is that reality stage where reality starts to sink in about what are you doing and if this is forming to a relationship.
Perfect. 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 And here's why. Men, tell me if I'm wrong. You see the woman, you are physically, sexually, whatever it is, attraction that you have. So she's met that part. What's the second thing men look for at that point? Okay, let's see what she is under all of that beauty in terms of where she is now. I'm talking about intentional men. So let me make this clear. We're not talking about the man who sees this, oh, she's fine, big this, big that, full this, full that, whatever. I want to hit, I want to smash. We're not talking about those men. And don't even think that on this platform, speaking to me, this is who I'm talking. I'm talking about intentional men. You see her across the room, you shake hands with her at the party that you met her at, introduced. However, now you want to know who she's about, what she's about, and things of this nature. Again, I'm not going to elaborate on this, but this is exactly what we're talking about as men. So there's no need for me to go on about that. Okay, Yasheka, what is number 3?
3 is the E in my areas, and this is exclusivity, right? This is when you say, "Girl, I got a man." You call up your girlfriends and you like, "Girl, I'm in a relationship." So now you can start making dinner reservations for 2 because it's exclusive. You guys have had the conversation, right? And let me say this about this stage. Oh, this is the part that I think so many people miss, okay? If you have not set boundaries before you get to this stage about what you're doing, then you can be mad at the other person because they disrespected your boundaries if you disrespect your boundaries. And what I mean by that is this: before you get to that stage where you become exclusive and he says to you, okay, are you're my woman, you my man, we together, you my girl, whatever, right? Once he says that, then you are exclusive. Prior to that, if you choose to give him your body, that is on you. Because until he says it, you guys are still in a situationship. You are not in a relationship. Matter of fact, I made a YouTube video about that the other day on my platform, The Art of Dating. And between stage 2 and 3, sometimes we are trying so hard to get to that level that we forget about all the things that we told our girlfriends and our mom and them we weren't gonna do. Be like, you know what? I'm not sleeping with nobody else until I'm their woman, until I'm his woman, and we're in a relationship, right? And then just because you've done steps 1 and 2, you talked on the phone a little bit, you doggone text a little bit more, you had 1 or 2 dates, and then you decide to give him your body, and then you believe that you are exclusive, and you are not until you've had that conversation that says it. Do not assume, okay? But this is definitely the honeymoon stage, right? This is the stage where, like I said, it's dinner for 2 now. You could tell your girlfriends that, you know what, when you make reservations or when they invite you to something, you be like, okay, can I bring my +1? Like, you are really excited about this. Your girlfriends are congratulating you. Also PDA, public displays of affection. He introduced you to his mama. You know what I'm saying? he know your kids, and like y'all exclusive, y'all in a relationship, right? So this is that third stage. But so, like I said, so many people rush to get to that stage until sometimes they get there and their feelings are hurt because the other person is not there at that stage with them. So that's the stage we all want to get to. One of the stages, it's like a milestone. That's a milestone in a relationship.
I don't mean to laugh so much. I'm really smiling because again, this is it, gentlemen. And here's what I want you to get from this, ladies. I'm speaking to the ladies now because there are women who mess this up, not just in terms of them getting the body before there's informal formal commitment. What I got from that was that the men led and signifying this is where I would like us to be. So I find far too many women are leading in that, or in this space where they're doing the deeds intimately and then they're assuming. So if you want to get to the men ain't, and then ninjas ain't this and all that, back it down, re-roll the videotape, okay? And you'll find number 3 is exactly what Yasheka expressed, that this is what women do. And they blame the men. And the men keep saying, no, because how many times have we heard and have read where he says, well, we ain't exclusive. We ain't this. We ain't that. And how many times have women said, let him lead in this space? Until you hear this, don't do that. And so, again, an intentional man, once he sees the sex appeal and she's blooming away, he's gone across the room, whatever, he's throwing away. He's like, listen, pushing away any man who thinks he's even attempting to go after her. He's going to make his presence known, his intention known. Then once he has a conversation and sees that beyond the beauty, she's also beautiful inside, and he sees value that this woman could add to his life and that he can add to her life, then an intentional man is going to, as some people will say, lock it down. And intentionally lock it down. Not just the verbal, but he's going to back that up with actions. And he's going to say, look, this is who I saw when I first met you. This is what's happened to the time that we spent on the phone and spending the time on the dates. And this is where I see this going. And to prove this, to show this is where I am and this is where I want to be with you. And then I'll say your piece, lay your cards on the table, gentlemen, and then shut the hell up and then let her respond. Because in the end, it's still up to her. She's going to say yes or no. But again, make it known that this is where, because just like she says, this is when you call them the fellas and you letting them know that at the next function, she's coming. And it doesn't matter. An attention man could care less what his boys think or say, because it's not about them. It's great. We know how we can be with our egos because we can't wait in the way we're like, yeah, that's me. That's me. But if they don't, because we know there's some brothers who's hating, it doesn't matter. This is who we want. We go to sleep knowing that what we thought wasn't out there at one point is now out there. And I'm telling you, I bet you Jay could agree with me. Again, this is where anywhere we want to go now. We're making plans with not just us or no longer, and then sometimes with the boys, but for the most part, we're making plans with her. We are making plans with her because this is who we want to be with. So without any further ado, Yasheka, number 4. Yasheka, number 4. Okay, I think her internet is. Yes, exactly. True indeed. Listen, brothers on a mission, no. We know we're not trying to play around. We're not playing games here. Once we meet her, we're in there. And we're going to make sure that we're solidifying what it is with her that we're looking to move forward with and all about the growth. So I know Intentional Brothers are feeling me on this because, again, I don't care whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 30s, we know we're heat seeking missiles when it comes to this. Okay, I think she had to log out and log back in. Okay, you were frozen there. It was a nice picture nonetheless, Yasheka, but
I
you're
know
muted. I think you're
when
muted.
I was smiling. It caught me when I was smiling.
Exactly. That's what,
Okay, you got to take them for small favors. Listen, this internet is doing something else.
it's
Okay,
okay. It's okay. But the
but
brothers who are agreeing, they're agreeing with
yeah,
me, they're agreeing with you. So we were saying, okay, what is number 4?
okay, all right. So let's get into it, Jay. And thanks everyone. So thank you very much for joining us. But let's get
Yes.
into the number 4, the attachment. So this stage is when you are together, right? You are starting to make plans for the future. You're talking things like us instead of I. You're saying we instead of me, right? And then also in this stage is when you're noticing things about that person that you didn't see in the first 3 stages because you was just so giddy, right? So, you're noticing things like, okay, well, maybe they're not that good at I don't know, balancing their checkbook, or maybe I don't like the way they keep their house up. Whatever the case may be, you're noticing things. And then also in this stage, like I said, you're moving forward to say, okay, we're making plans together, right? So at this stage, some people may also become engaged, or they may move in together, right? So this is that stage where they're saying, we are we are planning to become married or long-term partners, whatever, but you guys are together. And this is also that stage where a lot of the things that you used to do in the third stage start to wind down a little bit. So maybe you're not having as many dates. Maybe you're not showing as much display of, affection. Maybe you're not having sex as much as you used to, right? These are things that happen in the fourth stage because this is when you start to say, okay, we're in a rhythm and we're not really complacent. It's still new, but you don't have it's not all fresh and new, right? And you guys know how, this is the realization of a relationship. Okay, period, point blank, right? It's not going to always be just a party. You know what I mean? You're not going to always be like you're just Instagram
Yes.
turning all the time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
this is that stage where you fall into a routine, yet you're still talking about the future in terms of marriage or creating a family or moving in together or whatever. But like I said, also at this stage is when you start to recognize things about that person that maybe you didn't see in the beginning, and you don't know if you necessarily like it or not. You know what I mean? But yeah, so this is that stage. And again, this stage is called the attachment stage.
Well said. And see, this is where many men and women sometimes get to this space, and then you things doesn't work out for whatever reason. But see, this is where I've always said in the world of dating, moving towards relationships, I can assure you, you will be tested. You and the space that you're sharing with this person will be tested. And see, if you're lucky, you will be tested early. And then early, because I know for men, for intentional men, when we get to stage 3, we're already thinking, could this be the one? We really want to believe that she is it. We're thinking rings, and we're thinking all of this. But see, as she said, in that fourth space, things shift, things change, because now it's one thing to put the ring in and put the picture on social media. She said yes and all of this, but here's where it gets real. Because man, at this point, we're thinking, okay, if this in fact is the one, we're now putting in place whether, all right, if we're talking engagement, then we're definitely talking marriage. And so as a man, and again, some men, to my is a new age, look, so then call me old fashioned. But I believe this is that space where men, you now know that you're building a space for her. And so with that, when you're talking about moving in together, I'm not talking about moving in with her. Okay, so you work that out. You work that out where you're building a space where she now, again, she may be a homeowner, you may be a homeowner. You can decide how you're going to do this. but I'm always of a space where that man is going to lead in this space. Okay. However, like she said, there are things that are going to change. But here's where the work comes in, man. And that you really want to work to make sure you keep things as new and as fresh as possible because you believe in her, you believe in the future that you both are going to have. So you don't slack off. What I'm saying is, this is when, again, you're tested and the work goes on. I truly believe that this is, again, your men that, in a leadership position, you don't give up on that space. But I am just someone, and I'll speak in terms of men or just me, that, that moving in with a woman is not where you want to be. Okay. You want to create a space. If you're talking about a future with this woman, then you make sure you put yourself in place so that she moves in with you, or you both maybe want to sell both residences or move out and then create a space, so that you're now providing a home that you both can live and grow in. Okay, again, this is Ronnie Walker talking. You may have extenuating circumstances, but I truly believe that, again, this is where, in that space, again, as Yasheka spoke of, that you are going to be tested. Things are not going to be the same because it's not always a party. It's not always day parties. It's not always, staycations, vacations, or whatever. I still want you to go on that. I still want that to be part of who you are as a couple, because I want you to still continue to grow intimately, just in learning each other's love language and the different ways in which you are going to continue to attract her, to have her be attracted to you. Let her know that you are on a path of constant and never ending improvement, and that you're all about growth. And this is, again, time where it's not always about a party. It's about sitting down and having some serious conversations. Maybe at this point where you're talking about finances, and how this is going to happen moving forward. If based on the age, or you're talking about kids, what's going to happen? Let's just say the kids are close to being out on their own. Is that a conversation that you need to have? Okay, here we are, Yasheka. There she is. Okay. So, again, perfect.
Listen, I am on my phone because I'm just not going to be.
Okay. Well, you're frozen.
Can you hear me?
Bit, and then you're going. Yeah, we can hear you. But I was just pretty much elaborating on your fourth point, because I think that is a very, very, very crucial point within the dating space, relationship space. Because here we're talking about, again, we want to talk about honeymoon space, but as you said, this is when it really, really gets real, and you will get tested. And so we want to see, again, men, what are you made of at this time? Because trust me, fellas, she's looking to see if you are as consistent now as where you were in the beginning. So it's easy in the beginning, but now, as they say, when rubber meets the road, and this next phase is important. So without any further ado, Yasheka, rule number 5.
All right, rule number 5 sums up my areas. And this one I call steadfast or steady. In other words, it's like you're holding what you got. You guys are starting to see yourself as old people. I say as old people sitting in the rocking chair, right? And watching your grandkids play in the yard, okay? This is when you know that you are together, you have finalized things, whatever that looks like for you. For some people, it may look like marriage. For others, it may look like moving in together. For some, it may look like just, having some children. I don't know. Everyone's different. Not everyone's goal is to get married. Not everyone's goal is to, move in together. Some people are comfortable with, especially depending on what age you are. Some people is just like, you know what? I just want somebody that I can rock out with. In other words, when I go on vacations, I got somebody I can call. When I have a invitation and there's a +1, I have somebody I can call. So it just literally depends on what your goal is in your relationship. However, one thing for sure, 2 things for certain, you cannot wait until you are at stage 5 to have this discussion, right? This is something you need to talk about in stage 2, which is the reality of the relationship. You're saying, okay, we're doing this. We're beyond the appeal, the sex appeal part. We realize that we are, we might want to start a relationship. This is when you have that conversation about what type of relationship you want, so that when you get to stage 5, right, and you together, you're not sitting there trying to change somebody's mind about, well, I know you told me that you didn't want to get married, but I thought, you know what I mean? Because that happens all the time. People want to change a person's mind and they
Oh,
want to wait
yes.
until they got some and things like that. Listen, if that person told you that they don't want to get married, at any point during that those 5 stages of dating, take them for what they said. Period.
Amen.
Now, is it for them to change their mind? Absolutely. People have the right to change their mind all the time. But as a person, if your goal is to get married, do you want to risk the time that is spent for you to get to stage 5 of a relationship, only to still be told that that's not their goal? The goals are not aligned up. And so now you're thinking about the time you've wasted, or you're trying to renegotiate with yourself and say, okay, am I okay with just being this for forever in this relationship, right? And so you definitely want to have these conversations in stage 2. Okay. But like I said, the steadfast or the steady is just like, you in it to win it, right? You in it for the long haul, and you have made the ultimate commitment to one another, whatever that commitment looks like for you.
Well said. Well said. So I could elaborate long, but I won't. Men, intentional men, are in it to win it. Period. End of story. Again, and see what she said was, I want you to get there are things that you discuss at stage 2, which is going to help you solidify stage 5. Because again, we don't want to get into a situation where you're trying to change someone. And this happens far too often. And instead of certain men and certain women admitting that's what they try to do, they want to continue to blame the others. And this is why I think this show is important, because we're showing you how to date again. Because there are a lot of men and women, truth be told, they really don't know how to date. They really just think asking a few questions over a dinner. I don't care if it's Applebee's or a 20-star restaurant. That's not what dating ultimately is. There are stages to this, and you start with you. You start with you, and you start with your intentions. And gentlemen, I'll speak to you on this. Listen, if you're going to be out here, put the work in yourself, whatever that may entail. If you have some questions of whether you're not ready to date, then again, you reach out to me at resultswithronnie@gmail.com, or you reach out to Yasheka. You can go to datingdiscussions.com and you can reach out to her, and she can help talk to you and see if you're ready, ladies and gentlemen. Because again, there's just far too many horror stories in the dating world. And at some point, you have to realize that some of you are not doing it the right way. Some of you have yet to accept that things have changed. And Yashika and I have said this over and over and over. The rules of engagement have changed. The rules of engagement have changed. The rules of engagement have changed. So I truly hope that you took a pen and paper to what Yashika was sharing, because this is really a foundation for you to use and move forward for that. And this is again why I felt that this particular time of year, as we're now going into what we consider the holiday season, so the kids are off. I'm seeing so many posts of parents, both the husband and wife, and single fathers and single mothers, taking kids to every doggone thing after this class, and so and they're trying to date, and also the husband and wives that are out here trying to date. I'm sorry, that are dealing with that, but have their single friends. So we're going into holiday season, and dating, as you know, in the holiday season is a whole nother story. There's tons of movies about it, and comedies, rom-coms, whatever the case may be. But I really, in this space, want you to get that. So, again, I'm not here to speak against any other platform, but at some point, you want to stop being entertained and instead be educated. So while this may not be as glamorous and ha ha he and throwing shots at each other, Yasheka here is providing something that's going to give you some great foundational information ladies and men can take from this. So again, I know I went a little long, but Yasheka, you were in and out. And so
Mhm.
um, listen, you can go to our Facebook page, Ronnie and Yasheka Dating Discussions. Also, you can go on Ronnie and Yasheka on Instagram. Also, you can re-see this. Re-see. You can look at the replay on datingdiscussionslive.com. And also, if just an audio you want to listen to us while you're driving to work, from work, or on errands, you can go to datingdiscussionspodcast.com and listen to this. Take some notes if you didn't get a chance to listen to it this evening. Yasheka, I really want to take this time to thank you for again providing education, and I truly believe there was some entertainment in this as well, but again, more so than anything, some education. So is there any parting words, because I think I could go on for another 20 minutes, and how I thought this added value to both men and women. But is there anything you'd like to share as we conclude this segment here?
Well, first, I want to make sure that the message was given, because I know I had some technical difficulties along the way. But
It
one thing
was.
that I really want to really focus on out of all those five things again is having those proper conversations at stage two, because that is going to be like I said, it's going to be that foundation moving forward in your relationship, to know if you guys are on the same sheet of music, right? Because you can have a good time with somebody or enjoy someone's company, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the person you need to be in a relationship with. You know what I mean? They may just be there for a season or a reason, but not necessarily for forever. So having those conversations are important. And also, the last thing that I want to remind everybody is what I said, and this is specifically to my ladies. When you come to setting your boundaries about what you want from someone in a relationship, do not overstep your boundaries, because then it gives them the ability to overstep your boundaries as well. So, like I said earlier in my discussion, hopefully I didn't get cut off when I said it, but if you say to yourself that you're not engaging in any type of sexual acts with anybody unless you're in a relationship, then do not do it, because guess what? You are saying that you don't respect your boundaries, and that person that you're with is not going to respect them either. And your boundaries is a part of you. So you have to respect yourself in order for that person to respect you. So if that's something you're clear about, then make sure you do that. The same thing about anything else. Like, some people have boundaries about, they don't want a person to meet their children or their parents until they are exclusive in a relationship. If those are your boundaries, those are your boundaries. Don't be trying to get that person to come by your mama house and swing and drop you something off if y'all haven't established a relationship, or if you feel that you want to be in one before they meet your parents. Make sure that you are where you want to be in the relationship. Do not cross your boundaries. And that's what I have to say about that.
Man, okay, I wasn't gonna say thought I was gonna say anything, but yes, let me tell you something. Ladies, in the space of dating, it would be a perfect world if every man you met or went on a date was intentional. Now, again, some men are intentional, but their intentions are
Mhm.
not pure. So when she said your boundaries,
Right.
especially when we're talking about sex, trust me when I tell you, listen to me, ladies. If you hear anything that I say for the rest of your life, listen to this. There will be men who will test your boundaries. You know why? Because men have been successful in breaking those boundaries with that woman. I tell men this all the time, and the first thing they come back to, and mind you, they're showing receipts. They're showing receipts. So if you think men don't speak of this, men show receipts of saying, Ron, you full of it. Because let me tell you something, that woman swore up and down she's super Christian, super holy, supernatural, super whatever, or she's finding herself. And guess what? He's showing me everything that I didn't ask for to prove his point. Ladies, so gentlemen, listen to me. Some of you are on that journey as well. And there will be women who will put you in positions to test that because they truly believe that there's no way a full blown red blooded man is going to turn it down. And they win. So when she talks about that, especially when we talk about kids, that's a whole nother world as well. So again, she said, just like she said, set your boundaries and own them. Stand by them. Because again, you will be tested. I can promise you that. Okay. So that's all I got to say on that. Okay. So there we go. So listen, I'll just close out. I'll just go ahead and close out, Yasheka. Thank you. Thank you for those points. I truly believe, again, in my 30 years of this, I've been doing this a long time. So they say that if you spend 10,000 hours in something that you consider you've mastered this, or God knows I've done that and then some. So when I'm telling you something, I'm not telling you just because I'm biased towards Yasheka. I'm telling you that have had the chance. I spoke to a friend of mine for 40 years, partner in business and a friend of mine. And when we talk about self development, we have been around the best of the best in this space. I'm telling you, even before they blew up, we've been around these people to see this. So when I tell you that there's some value in what a person says, I'm not telling you just to blow smoke up you know what. I'm telling you because I've been around people who talk a lot of nonsense, but I've also been around people who talk a lot of goodness and they mean the best for you. So when I tell you Yasheka has added something to you that if you use it, you'll be a much better space in this dating world. I say that and I stand on that. So again, Yasheka, thank you. Again, God bless you and all that you're doing for your platform. So before we go, if you can just share a little bit of your platforms and how they can reach out to you moving forward after this broadcast.
Okay, so if I can get my life together over here. So if I can get my life together, my earpiece and everything. So of course, everybody can find me here on the Ronnie and Yasheka's dating discussions, as well as the Art of Dating on YouTube and Facebook. And they can check me out on Instagram at Coach Yasheka, Yasheka.
All right, all right. Well, listen, for a twist, I'm going to close it out this evening, but I just want to take a moment again. One more time, just in case there was some technical difficulty. If you can, Yasheka, just repeat those platforms again so that they can, and just in case they missed the first time.
Okay, so again, they can catch me here at Dating Discussions or Ronnie and Yasheka's Dating Discussions here on YouTube, as well as the Art of Dating on YouTube, as well as on Facebook and on Instagram. They can catch me at Coach Yasheka, Yasheka.
All right. Listen, there's no need for me to leave my information. I think she is who you need to speak to after this broadcast. Again, Yasheka, thank you. God bless you. And to each and every one of you, Jay, I want to thank you for your input and all of those who participated. We appreciate you more than you know. Reach out and support. Continue to share, subscribe, and listen to the replays. And again, we'll see you all very soon. Take care and have a wonderful evening. Take care,
Good
Yasheka, and I'll
night.
talk to you soon. Good night.
Good night.